In Richmond, they call it the Fan, an inner-city neighborhood named for the fan-like configuration of its streets. Trendy today and the home of Virginia Commonwealth University, it was once Richmond's working-class neighborhood. And that's where Jim Gilmore was born. Jim Gilmore's father was a meat cutter, working in a neighborhood Safeway. His mother was a church secretary. This house and these sparse beginnings are the start in life for the man who would become the 68th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and quite a bit more. Jim Gilmore was the first of his family to graduate from college. He entered the University of Virginia at Charlottesville with a desire to study foreign policy, which would serve him well in the important role he would play later as a member of an elite U.S. Army counterintelligence unit. But before that, there was this: a young lady who would square off with him at debates at the University of Virginia. We don't know who won the debates, but Jim and Roxanne were soon married and have been together now for 30 years. At a time when some young men were avoiding military service, Jim Gilmore volunteered for the U.S. Army. Fluent in German, he was assigned to counterintelligence work in Germany and entrusted with the job of safeguarding the security of our bases in Western Europe. For his work, he received a Joint Services Commendation Medal from NATO. Back in Charlottesville, Jim earned his law degree at the UVA and then came here to practice law. Determined and successful, he was asked to run for the office of prosecutor in Henrico County. Despite being an overwhelming underdog, he won the election handily. A series of successful prosecutions established him as a consistent, effective crime fighter. His reputation as a tough, no-nonsense prosecutor served him well when he decided to run for Virginia Attorney General in 1993, campaigning on the issue of abolishing parole for violent criminals. Again, he was an underdog, this time to a wealthy Democrat from Northern Virginia. And again, he won a resounding victory. As Attorney General, Jim Gilmore would widen his popularity as a champion of Virginia's working men and women. He led successful investigations of Medicaid fraud and government waste and fought for greater consumer protection. He was also a leader in a successful national effort to stop church burnings at African American churches. Jim Gilmore's courage, his determination to do the right thing, and his successes made him the Republican nominee for governor of Virginia in 1997. Again, he faced a glib, wealthy Democrat from Northern Virginia. Again, the media, the pundits, the pollsters, and the press said he could not win. But Virginians felt differently. Campaigning on a platform of cutting personal property taxes, Jim Gilmore cast off the underdog role and was elected governor of Virginia with 56% of the vote. As governor of Virginia, he kept his promise to cut taxes, returning $1.5 billion to the people of Virginia. He also created over 250,000 jobs, led Virginia into the technology age, dramatically boosted planning and construction for Virginia's transportation projects, and greatly increased funding for Virginia's historically black colleges and universities. Governor Jim Gilmore was appointed by Congress to chair a commission to study America's vulnerability to terrorism. It became known as the Gilmore Commission and warned in 1999 and 2000 that America was vulnerable to a terrorist attack. After the attack came on 9/11, Congress adopted 146 of the Gilmore Commission's 164 recommendations on ways to strengthen the country's national security. Since leaving the governor's office, Jim Gilmore has worked to serve his country, chairing the Air Force Academy's Board of Trustees, but mostly as a nationally recognized authority on Homeland Security. Our security. Jim Gilmore. He is the only active Virginia candidate who has won statewide twice and carried Northern Virginia twice. And thanks to his experience and service as a member of the military and his leadership on national security, Jim Gilmore is exactly the right man at the right time to keep us safe in these troubling times. Virginians and all Americans,